Vets say they're under increasing pressure to make money for the big companies that employ them. With vet bills rising more and more in recent years, the competition regulator has already questioned whether the pet care market is giving customers value for money. This report from Richard Bilton contains flashing images.
In you come.
More than half of UK households are believed to own a pet, and most say their animal's health is as important as their families.
Perfect.
My dog's called Belle, and the thing is, I don't think I'll be able to live without her.
If I ever run out of things to talk about, oh, by the way, do you know I have a snake?
But the days of James Herriot have gone.
What's nothing to worry about? He's just getting on a bit, that's all.
It used to be just vets that could own practices. Over the past 25 years, big business has become increasingly involved.
Corporate vets have bought up so many smaller independent vets that 60% of the market is owned by just 6 companies. A decade ago, it was 10%.
And according to the Competition and Markets Authority, average prices rose by 63% between 2016 and 2023.
Prices have risen a lot in recent years. Have you noticed that?
Well, that's a daft question, isn't it? A few weeks ago, I took her up there and got a call. It was a growth on the tummy. What was it now? For about 300 or 400 quid or something like that.
Some go further and say they no longer trust vets. Rob's dog Betty had an operation that cost £5,000. Then he was told that Betty could have a serious infection. Diagnosis and another op would cost between £5,000 and £8,000. On the morning of the op, the price went up to £12,000.
£4,000 overnight and no real explanation. I work in an industry where you negotiate things and you understand power levers and negotiation and all that kind of stuff. They were, in my view, leveraging their position.
Rob was happy with Betty's treatment, but complained about the sudden price increase. Vets Now, which is owned by IVC Evidensia, apologised and refunded him nearly £3,800 as a goodwill gesture. It told us its staff care passionately for the animals it treats, and that in complex cases, prices can vary depending on what the vet discovers and how the patient responds. We've spoken to a vet who works for IVC Evidensia. They don't want to be identified because they say they could lose their job. They showed me a new internal document which is intended to improve clinical care and also lists key performance indicators for tests and treatment options in the company. It's colour-coded and green means doing well.
Vets shouldn't have pressure to do an X-ray because it would play into whether they're getting green on the care framework for their clinic.
How much would an X-ray cost?
With sedation, you could be looking at £700.
IVC says it's extremely proud of the work its highly skilled clinical teams do, and the data it collects is to identify and close gaps in care for its patients. It says its vets have clinical independence and the group's vets and vet nurses never prioritise revenue or transaction value over and above the welfare of the animal in their care. Britain's love affair with pets goes on, but it's an increasingly costly best friend. Richard Bilton, BBC News.
You can watch Panorama Why Are Vet Bills So High on BBC One tonight at 8 o'clock and on BBC iPlayer.
Dear Dog Life.
מעבירים את הכלבים והחתולים לבריאות של אמא טבע. הצטרפו לקהילה שלנו ותהנו מגישה חפשית למאגר עצום של ידע, מחקרים, סרטונים. מאמרים וטיפים לתזונה נכונה ואורח חיים בריא, הכל במקום אחד ובצורה קלה ומהנה. חפשו אותנו בפייסבוק. כלבים וחתולים חוזרים אל אמא טבע.